We'll do 1 round of chanting now. Do first. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Srinivasa Gaura Bhattavrinda. Start chanting. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Goswami Yoga
Hare Krishna to you all this morning. Happy to see you all. Hare Krishna. So today we are very fortunate to have this great Vikram Chaitanya Prabhu with us. And he's a very sincere devotee practicing for more than a decade. He got introduced to Krishna consciousness in the US. And he is a disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And today we will hear Bhagavad Gita verse 15.15. Chapter. Okay. So he will enlighten us with his wisdom. Let us all welcome him by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Over to you, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How are you all? So, thank you, Prabhu, for giving me this opportunity to serve here and opportunity for all of us to go through chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, Sunday study. So, generally, you all have read Bhagavad Gita here? Or you have begun to read? So, there is a general tendency that when we start, we tend to skip the first chapter. Why? Anybody have thought? Feelings? So first chapter has a lot of names of the warriors, description of the army, and second chapter on so Bhagavad Gita is Song of God. It's instructions given by Lord Krishna. So Krishna begins to speak from second chapter. So when we are having this idea of Bhagavad Gita, and the conversation, Lord Krishna starts to speak from chapter 2, then what is there in chapter 1? Just names of some warriors. So let me skip that and move directly to chapter 2. So that should not be actually our move. Right? So why? Because the whole so Prabhupada says Nirmanda Krishna Sambandham. Right? So anything that is in association with Krishna, the devotees or anything that is related to Krishna, that is always purifying. So when we hear about the names of the warriors, that is also purifying to us. And then it also helps set the context. So we understand what should be the mood, what usually are the situations that are presented before us in which we should pick up the book Bhagavad Gita. That will help us move forward. And Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. It's a very, very special book. Like I said, song of the Supreme Lord. There's instructions to us. It's a life manual. By following the instructions, we can endeavor to make our life meaningful and successful. So, Srila Prabhupada, he himself used to read the Bhagavad Gita. So devotees in the last, Prabhupada has written, you have written this book, why are you reading? So Prabhupada used to say that, I have not written, Krishna has written this. So even he used to relish reading that. So every page, every word is very powerful. So we should all endeavor to read Bhagavad Gita and bring that in our life. Right? So with that, we are very fortunate. Srila Prabhupada, we are grateful to him that he has given us this knowledge. And let us just take care, Prabhupada's Guru Parampara, Lord's Vaishnava's blessings before we begin discussing the chapter 1. Om Adhyana Tinizandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshusham Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Tathayam Dharati Swapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Bhaktakulam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Ankitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Sadhukam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhagana Ravita Shri Vishakam Tamsha He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikatam Radha Kanta Sindhute Tapta Kanchan Gaura Kavi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Namami Haripriya Mancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Rubhyascha Patitanam Bhavantu Vaishnavyo Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Devasadi Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama. Shri Guru Dina Paramanatha Shri Chaitanya Ishvara. So I don't have anything to share, but summary study. So we'll just go through the chapter flow, and we'll try to keep it interactive. Okay? So the first chapter, what's the title of the chapter? Arjun Vishad Yoga. Observing the armies. Yes. So this chapter is, if we see the overall, flow of the chapter, it is basically divided into two sections. So sign direction, observing the armies, and Vishad Yoga, Arjuna's lamentation. So at a high level, there are these two sections. And now within each section, so the first section of observing the armies. So we begin with Dhritarashtra's doubt. So the first verse is spoken by Dhritarashtra. And that's the only verse that he speaks in the entire Bhagavad Gita. And then the next part in the first section is Duryodhana's diplomacy. So we see how Duryodhana is using his intelligence to evaluate the army's situation. And then the third section, part in the first section is we see Krishna's Bhakta Vatsala form. So this is the first section of observing the armies. Then the second section is Arjuna's Vishad Yoga. So that begins with, there are two parts to that. So the first part is Arjuna's bewilderment. So when he comes in front of the position and he sees them, he gets bewildered. And then the next is, what happens after that? There's a turning point. So he had come to do something, but he makes a U-turn. So how he gives reasons. He had come to fight, he gives reasons not to fight. So basically he gives 4 reasons not to fight. So we'll see that as we move along. All right. English is good, no? Everybody's good with English, not that I'm comfortable with any other language, but just to make sure. All right. So the first verse, we'll see the first verse. So the first verse is Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharam Kshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Nilutsava Mamaka Anvacheshva Hima Kurvat Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra is saying, Dhritarashtra Vacha, and Dhritarashtra, where is Dhritarashtra? He is in the palace, right? So he is blind, and that's why he cannot be on the battlefield. And he is sitting in his palace, and who is with him? Sanjaya. So Sanjaya has this special vision to which he can see the happenings on the battleground. So he is narrating. He is going to narrate the events there. So Dhritarashtra. So Bhagavad Gita begins like that. Dhritarashtra asks that on this holy place, Dharamkshetra Kurukshetra, where Pandavas, Mamka Pandavas, where they assembled to fight, what did they do? So, beginning of Bhagavad Gita is with a question. Now, this question is a little weird. Can anybody guess or tell me why is this question a little weird? It's a little inappropriate.
For the went to a battlefield, those who expected to fight.
Right.
So what is he expecting out of Sanjay?
Exactly. Yes. Very nice, bro. So he himself is saying, when they assembled there to fight, what did they do? So obviously, when they assembled to fight, they are going to fight him. Right? So it's just like um, if we say that cricket match is going to happen, India-Pakistan match is going to happen in say Chirapunji in a rainy season. So one might ask, okay, the match is scheduled for today evening. What happened? So why would one ask like that? Teams are there to play, they are going to play. But still the question is being asked. Why? So there is some yeah. This one you're thinking. Anything else? Like, okay. Yeah. Curiosity. Very nice. Yes. So, so we see that time, place, and circumstance plays a role in the outcome of the event, right? So, like in this case, when we talk about this cricket match, so Chirapunji and rainy season, that adds in some more information where we don't know what's going to happen in terms of the outcome of the match. So, same way, Dhritarashtra is thinking that what will be the outcome of this war. So, he's doubtful. So, that is his concern. Now, why is he doubtful? What are the circumstances here? So, the first line is Dharam Kshetra. Okay. So, why doubt on a holy place? Right. Very nice. Krishna is with Pandava. Yes. Dharma. So Dharam Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So the place is a dharmic place. Which place? Kurukshetra. Okay. So you see that Kurukshetra, so King Kuru, when he was there, he did a lot of good pious deeds and got this boon that whatever activities will be performed here will be virtuous and one will attain good results out of those activities. And we see that Lord Parshuram also was, he performed yajnas at Kurukshetra. So Kurukshetra is there, and now Lord Krishna himself is there. So it's a very holy place. Now, so why is he having a doubt? As you all said that Dhritarashtra knows that Pandavas are dharmic and that his sons are not. So he is now doubtful whether his side of Adharma is going to have a chance to even be victorious. So that is his doubt. Now so in the doubt, what is he highlighting to Sanjay? So he's there. So externally, what he portrays is that because of this place, my sons, Kauravas, they might, under this influence of the holy place, in that dharma, might just give up the idea of fighting, might just give up the kingdom to Pandavas. And Pandavas also, because of they're already dharmic, and when they are here at this holy place, they might think that what is the need to fight? Let us just give away this kingdom and we'll go back to forest. So externally, he's kind of displaying this feeling, which is like a good feeling, right? Because they're my family, don't want them to be killed. Why are they fighting amongst each other for a kingdom? So externally, that's what he should. But internally, what is he hoping for and what is he fearful for? If he thinks that this war does not happen, then he realizes that that means what? That dharma is prevailing. And if dharma is prevailing, then there are high chances that the kingdom is not going to be with Kauravas, with my sons, because they are dharmic. So they will end up still losing the kingdom. So now Dhritarashtra wants his sons to Duryodhana to be the king. He himself is attached and he wants his son to be the king. So because of that, he is fearful. So he wants the war to happen internally. And he thinks that he has hopes, high hopes, that his sons, they are going to win. Right? Who's on their side? Bhishma. So he is very confident, all of them are very confident, because we have Bhishma Pitama on our side, there will be victory. So internally, that's what he's hoping for. He wants the war to happen and his sons to win. So that is one thing, the first line, Dhanukshetra, Kurukshetra. Then the second line we see, another beautiful aspect. Mamaka Pandavasya. So he's separating his sons from Pandu's sons. So Mamaka, they are my sons, and Pandavas are Pandu's sons. Now they are all one family. Pandu is his brother, they are his brother's sons, they are his sons, but he is creating a distinction between them. And by that, he then obviously wants them to win. So this we see that it is like an nowadays that we see in industries, nepotism, right? So this is just like that, and in fact, we see that nepotism actually existed in ancient times also. So why is that? Because Dhritarashtra wants his sons to take the throne, though they might not be competent. Right? So who is competent to take the throne? Yudhishthira, Pandavas. So he knows that, but still he wants his son to be the king. So we see in today's time also that this kind of attitude is there. Various industries and all, family dynasty moves on. Whoever has power, they would want their loved ones to occupy their position going forward. And in that, what happens eventually? The system becomes corrupt, and it's a mess. If in the ruling parties if this happens, then who are the ones who suffer? The citizens, people suffer. Right? So so that is one thing. And then this. So why is this happening? Why is he wanting his son to be there? Because of attachment. We have so much of attachment to his son. So when we have excessive attachment, then we tend to not carry out our duties properly. So Srila Prabhupada gives this example. So it's like attachment is like an anchor. So when the example Srila Prabhupada gives is that there's like a marriage party and they are in a boat. They're trying to cross over the ocean or a lake, river actually, and the boat, and they're trying to do that in the night. So they're all rowing the boat. The whole night passes, and in the morning they see that they're still they are there where they were in the night. So why was it like that? Because the boat was anchored. So if the boat is anchored, then however much you row, you stay where you are. Right? So we need to remove the anchor. So just like that, attachments are like anchor. If we hold on to that, then it will be difficult for us to cross over the ocean of the material miseries that we are all in. Right? So we need to let go of our attachment. And that is because of the weakness of the heart. When we have so much of strong attachment to our loved ones, then we don't make such decisions. So, so what could Dhritarashtra have done? So his son wanted to be king, and because of all that, this war is happening, and he knows that he is not competent, and Yudhishthira is competent. But Duryodhana can also say, and he was motivated. He wanted to be the king. So that motivation was there. So one can say that he is motivated. Why not he become the king? So motivation alone is not enough. Right? One should be qualified as well. So competency is a must, right? Along with motivation. So now, what could the Dhritarashtra have done? He could have, brought up Duryodhana in such a way that you want to enjoy, you want to have royalty, so that you can still do. Right? Let us make Yudhishthira as the king, and while he's being king, you can also be along with him, and all that money that comes, the royal life that is along with it, you also enjoy that. But that's not how it turns out to be, right? We want it for ourselves. No, I want to be the king. Duryodhana was obstinate. No, I want to be the king. So when that kind of situation arises, then we are into this unfortunate situation. Now, Krishna also tried to persuade him. He tried to negotiate between the two. But Duryodhana was like, no, I will not even let her, tip of needle worth of land also I'm not ready to give up. So that's how strong his attachment is. So when we have such strong attachments, then obviously the result is going to be bad. So now the next section, next part of the first section is, so this was the first verses, Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, doubt. Okay? That's a very important verse. The beginning of Bhagavad Gita starts with that doubt. Then we have Duryodhana's, the next set of verses is the second part of the first section, which is Duryodhana's diplomacy. Okay? So we see how Duryodhana is smart, how he is intelligent, how he evaluates the battleground and his army. So what does he do? When he begins, he straight away goes to, when they're all assembled, he goes to Dronacharya. Now, who's the senior most in their army? Bhishma Pitama. And what's his role? He's the commander-in-chief, Senapati. Right? So he should have gone to him, but he goes to Dronacharya. Why? See how he's thinking. So he's like, if I go to Bhishma there first, then Dronacharya might feel bad. Now, Dronacharya is his guru. Right? But if I go to Dronacharya first, then Bhishma Pitama might not feel bad. Might not. Why? Because from Varnashram system, if we see, who is at a higher position? So Varnashram, Brahmana, Kshatriya. So Dronacharya is Brahmana and Bhishma Pitama is Kshatriya. So who is higher among the two? Brahmana. So Dronacharya from that perspective is at a higher position. So he thinks that if I go to Dronacharya, so he will be satisfied and Bhishma Pitama will understand. So see how intelligent he is to use the situation, right? Not hurt anybody and convey the message. So he goes to Dronacharya. And then what does he do? He reminds Dronacharya of his past mistake. What is that? So he tells him, Drupad Putrena Tava Shishya, that look over there. Look at the army, Pandava's army. How wonderfully they have set up the whole arrangement. And why is this so? Because of Drishtadyumna. And who is your disciple? And he's who? He's not only your disciple, he is the son of your enemy, Drupad Putrena. So Drupad once was a friend of Dronacharya, but turned out to be his enemy. So what is he doing here? He is pointing out Dronacharya's mistake and reminding him that you don't do such mistake now. What is done is okay, fine, but please don't do that now. And he's calling out his enemy's name also. That one is your disciple, so mistake, and the other is son of Drupad, so he is your enemy's son. So he's instigating, he's firing him, making him angry. So then he's like, if Dronacharya is fired up, then what else does he want? They are his greatest warriors. So he's increasing his chances of victory by encouraging them, by bucking them up. So we see sports and all, before the match starts, what do they do? What does the team do? they all get in a huddle, buck up each other. So even if the team does not have a great chance of winning, that enthusiasm, that encouragement, that energy that comes in, that makes them go one step. Right? So that's what Duryodhana is trying to do. And then, so we now on the flip side, we get one lesson also from here. That Duryodhana, what is he doing? He is finding faults. He's pointing out mistakes. In whom? In Guru. Is that a good thing to do? A disciple, should he be finding out faults in Guru? No. And what should he be doing in fact? He should be listening to the Guru. And finding faults in whom? One's own self. Okay? So fault finding is a very, bad tendency. And we have this tendency of fault finding in others. Okay? And glorify our own self. So this person is like that. This person is like that. I am not like that. So that is not good for us. No, we should always have the perception the other way. We should look at faults in ourselves and try to look at good things in others, even though it might be only one thing. But that's the more tendency that we should have, always looking at good in others. So Duryodhana is not only finding fault, he's finding fault in his Guru also. So he's one step even beyond. So what he should have done? The Guru, that relationship, how to be leveraged? He should, like I said, listen from the Guru, right? So what should he ask? He should inquire about the weakness of the opponent. Especially when he first said that who is the opponent, who is against this sadhu so well? His disciple only. So he would be knowing how his disciple is, what are his weaknesses, what are his strengths. Right? So he can inquire about that and then plan for his strategy. That is what should be done. So we say that we see Chanakya Niti also. It said the same thing, that one should hide one's own mistakes or weaknesses and understand the opposition's weakness rather doing it the other way around. So that's one reason. And then what does he do? So this is so he's encouraging the army. So he's also motivating his side. How is he motivating? So he is first of all, so this was the weakness part, not the strength part. So he starts by looking at the opposition and he calls out, the great warriors on the other side. So he calls out Bhima is there, Arjuna is there, they're great warriors. Obviously, Krishna is there. But on my side also, we have great, strong warriors who can match them. So we are more or less. Right? So like that, he is again bucking up his own team. He's saying that he calls out then some names on his side also, like Karna. So he calls out Karna. Then he calls out Vikarna also. Now Vikarna is not a great, very strong warrior, but still he's calling out his name. Why? Anybody knows? Who is Vikarna? You don't know Vikarna? Yes. What did you do? When Draupadi was very nice. So when Draupadi's Vastharan was happening, he was the only one who raised his voice that what is happening is not good. So see again how Duryodhana is tactfully trying to make sure that his team is connected, staying together, motivated. And he doesn't want breakouts to happen. Like Hindi said, Dal Badlu. Right? Like in politics, we see a lot. Elections are coming, whoever is stronger, people will go to the other side. So poaching also happens. So he's like, I don't want to lose my my army, my great warriors. So he's encouraging him also, that trying to get his allegiance. That you be with me, You are my brother, we are all together, we are in it for it, right? So, and Karan, what do we see from him? He's glorifying Karan, but he's again a very great, strong warrior. But Karan is not there at that point in time. So, what do we learn from that? Why is he not there? Because as long as Bhishma Pitama is there, Karan said, I will not fight. So, sometimes, people, they have their own opinions, their way of doing things, not liking other people's way of working. So, they can't gel along. Team spirit is, or rather, I would say, working under the leadership of another person whose way of working does not align with oneself. Have any of you experienced things like this in workplace or anywhere else, business, neighborhood? If we are to work with someone, right, and then it especially happens at peer level. So if two people are working, having the same skills but different thoughts, and the idea that I want to lead this team, like in office, people want to lead a team, lead a project. But if somebody else is made the leader, then that person's like, okay, I will not work. But sometimes you don't have that option, right? No work means then leave the company. You might get fired, so we don't have any choice. We have to continue working. But then, is that work, is that motivation, enthusiasm still there? No, right? Like, okay, I'm here, I'll work, but you will not get the best from me. And internally, one will want that. When will that person be removed? No, so one will always be trying to pull down the other person. So this is one thing that we see. So again, not a good thing. But Duryodhana, so he's basically evaluating the strengths and is not underestimating the opposition. So he's seeing that they're also very strong, we are also very strong, and then in the process, we also see this quality of being overconfident. So he's being overconfident in his own army, that he has such great warriors, who are always victorious. So when I have such great warriors, then how can I lose? So that overconfidence comes in. And is overconfidence a good thing? What happens when we are overconfident? Underperform. And we end up making mistakes. So something that we are good in doing, if we are overconfident, we make mistakes. I'm like, how could I make such a mistake? On other days, I could have done this. In sports, we see this a lot. So player is winning all the time, but because of that, it becomes overconfident. One gets beaten up by even like in tennis, we see, a great player gets beaten by an unseeded player who the world doesn't even know. So overconfidence is not good. Now that means then we are not prepared well. And then Duryodhana is also taking, we see that he makes the statement that this army is so great and they all are ready to lay down their life for me. So that brings in pride also, which again is not good. Why? Because you think that, okay, whatever I do, they're all here. They're ready to give up their life. What more can one do? Right? The highest thing is giving up their life. So we see like our defense personnel, they do such great service for the country. So they have this enthusiasm that they are ready to give up their life for the country. So it's not an ordinary thing. So the army, they're all ready to give up their life for Duryodhana. So he should be all the more responsible. As a leader, he should make sure that he's fighting for the right cause and that he's taking care of the army. But what do we see? That he's fighting the battle for his own cause, knowing that I have such a big army and they're all ready to fight. So that's not good. Pride always makes us fall down. So, and then, very nicely, in next verse, he calls out also another way of highlighting the strength of his army. So he uses the word aparyaptam. So he says that our army, is, or the strength of my army is immeasurable, pointing towards Bhishma Pitana. So again, he's kind of looking up and he's saying that our strength is immeasurable, whereas the strength of Pandavas is paryapta. So it is limited. Acharyas also help us understand that this is the another meaning of this paryaptam is that Pandavas' strength is paryaptam. It is sufficient because they have like Bhima who's raging in anger to fight with Krishna, and on this side the strength is aparyaptam, means it is insufficient. So he is again very cleverly using a word which has two meanings to convey an important message. In fact, two messages to two people. So one message to Bhishma Pitana, that because you are here, because of your strength, we are very strong. It's immeasurable. And to Duryodhana, what he's saying, that that's a cause of concern also to me. Why? Because it is not sufficient. Why is it not sufficient? Because he has a soft corner for Pandavas. Right? So he's alerting Dronacharya that you be careful. He might be soft, but you fill up for that gap. So see how cleverly he is encouraging this. So great lessons we learn from Duryodhana. We can utilize that in our workplace to encourage our team and a leader, basically how a leader should be. Any questions anyone else? I think I'm going a bit slow. Okay. So then, so now when he's called out Bhishma, that he is the greatest, strength is immeasurable. So then, see again, he's thinking about each and every one. Right? He's thinking now, after glorifying Bhishma with all the strength, that he alone is so powerful. And I'm going to win the war. If only Bhishma Pitana is there, he's going to win. That much of confidence he's having. But he knows there's some weakness, so he's trying to alert Dronacharya and so. Then the others might think, if Bhishma alone can do, then why are we needed? Why am I here? And I'm going to lose my life also. What's the point? So they might think like that. And then again, there might be breakage in the army. So what does he do? He then pulls up everybody else also. That you all please support Bhishma. He is the greatest, but he is growing old. We need to protect him from all sides. All of you, this is your responsibility, protect him from all sides. So now he's given responsibility to everybody else also. So again, similar thing in workplace. What do we see? People, managers, they appreciate one person in the team. But does it mean in the team only that person is doing the work? Others are also working, right? So they might feel put down. And then again, the enthusiasm. We are doing so much work, but we are not getting the credit. We are not getting recognition. Others are being glorified. So let me just leave it like that. Especially if it happens again and again. So a good manager is one who recognizes, rewards each member of the team. That way, everybody is encouraged, and the best result is produced when all are working in collaboration. So that's the end of the part. Now, in this collaboration, where we were talking about Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, where he was the nepotism part, he wanted due to attachment his son only to come. So if there had been this collaboration, then things would have been better. So the teamwork. Now we see Dubai as an example, a country, and even US, right? It's land of opportunities. So everybody, whoever is capable, competent, come and reap the rewards. So now Dubai, if you see, it was just a barren land. Right? All the sheikhs, they all got so much of money, oil rigs and all, but nothing else. So what did they do? They wanted that place to become a tourism hub, not desert. Who will go to such heat? So what did they do? They didn't have the skills, no competency to build that place. But what did they do? They invited everybody else. All the other countries, players, Europeans, Americans, from all over the place. You come, whatever you're good at, you set up hotels and theme parks and whatnot. Bring everybody to industry. You are good in that, you set up, people will come in, you just give me a share. So see how smartly they got this business idea. and the whole world is heading there, and they're making good money. So that's all. Collaborate as a team, then we get good results. Okay. So now the next part of this section is signs of victory. Okay. So we see that Arjun calls Krishna by various names based on the qualities. So he addresses him as Madhava. Madhava means husband of goddess of fortune. So where Krishna will be there, there will be goddess of fortune. So fortune is there, that means victory will be there. And then Duryodhana, when he now finishes addressing his team, Bhishma Pitama, he's heard all of this and said, okay, let's get to the business. I'm there, we are fighting for you, let's get going. So he blows his function and indicates the start. So when he does that, then all the others blow their functions. And similarly on the Pandava side, Krishna blows his function. And then the Pandavas, they follow suit. So when they blow the function, when Bhishma Pitama's function was very loud, but when Krishna's function, Pandava's function were blown, then the hearts of the Kauravas were shattered. They got fear within their heart, hearing that such loud noise. Why? Because these shans were transcendental, Divya Shan. So you see, Lord Vishnu, he will have 4 hands. He has Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So Shankh represents Dharma. Padma represents peace. So these two signs, these two are symbols of peace and working in a righteous way. But if Dharma is violated, if devotees are troubled, then Lord is ready to pick up the other 2, which are weapons, Chakra and Gada. So using that, we can punish the adharmic people. So now Shank's Divya Shankar, so that means that's a symbol of Dharma. And Krishna is playing such concept, so that means he's in the side of Pandavas, so Dharma is on their side. So there's another sign of victory. Then Yudhishthira, so now when Duryodhana finished speaking, Bhishma Pitama, what did he? Straight away blew his concept, started. But we see on the Pandava side, Yudhishthira, what did he do? Before the war started, he went to Bhishma Pitama and took his blessings. So even though he was on the opposition, he is still their elder. So he took their blessing. That's the right way of doing things. Whenever we do something, we should see blessings of our elders. So Duryodhana took blessings and Bhishma Pitama blessed him. That may you be victorious. Vijay Bhav. So another sign. Bhishma Pitama himself is giving Vijay Bhav to Pandavas. And Duryodhana, being overconfident, thinking Bhishma Pitama is my side, let's go, let's get started, jump right into it. That's what happens nowadays again also. Today's modern culture is like that. We are just depending upon our competence. I have studied, I will do good. I'll get a good job. That's it. God is not for me. God is for the weak. Whoever does not have confidence, they only go and pray to the Lord. So that is the mentality that we have nowadays. But we see that even though we have everything, if we don't have blessings of our elders, we are going to be miserable. So, and then obviously, these signs that we see of victory are with Pandavas. Now we saw that Duryodhana was so intelligent, right? He was encouraging his team and motivating them, and all these wonderful words he was saying. But still, we see the signs of victory are all with Pandavas. Why? Because he's missing somebody. Who is that? Krishna. Krishna is not missing, like I said, right? So, the last verse of Bhagavad Gita is Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yatra Partho Dhanu. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is devotee, there will be victory. So that is one thing that he is missing. Then we will see the last section, the last part of this first section is we see Krishna as Bhaktavatsala. So Krishna has taken the role of chariot driver for Arjuna. Right? So how He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the supreme controller. Yet he is taking the role of chariot driver. A chariot driver who is taking kicks also on his back to get directions. Yeah. And Arjun calls him Achyuta, which means that he is infallible. That means though he's taken the position of chariot driver, it's not that now he's not God or he cannot be a God. How can God take a position of a chariot driver? He's the driver, he's not God. No. No, even though he takes such a humble position, he still remains the God. So we see that he does that just to please his devotees, to keep his promises. Okay? There are so many pastimes we see that he, in Rajsuya, he washes the feet of all the guests who are coming there. You know, he picks up the plates of all the guests when they're done with their prasad. Sudama pastime. He washes the feet of his friend. He's a king and Sudama is just, so poor, but he's washing his feet. So Krishna, like this, is showing that he can be conquered by the love of his devotees and he can do anything for them. But that does not mean that his position of supreme controllership is taken away. Right? So, so this shows that how fortunate we are that we have such a great master. So we should be serving Krishna rather than having a master in this material world. So like when we work, we have bosses in office or any other environment. So how is that compared to having Krishna as master? With your thoughts on this? Having a material boss versus having Krishna as a boss.
Their bosses can change.
Material bosses can change.
So your
Krishna.
attitude will not change.
Okay.
Boss won't do anything.
Boss won't do anything. Okay.
Krishna will do everything for us.
Very nice. Boss won't do anything for us. Krishna will do everything for us. Yes. And not only everything, anything. We just saw, became chariot driver also. Anything else?
Even bosses have limited powers.
Limited powers. Very nice. Behavior. Okay. Very nice. The behavior, material boss's behavior is not consistent, not good, partial. Krishna is equal to all. Very nice.
Material bosses will manage their own business and company business. But Krishna will manage our business.
Wonderful. Their boss will manage their business, Krishna will manage our business. Once again, yes. Wonderful. Very nice. Yes. Krishna sees our intentions. He does not see the result. Whereas the bosses see our result. In office, you might have struggled day and night, but if you don't get the result the bosses want, then it's all zero. But Krishna sees the intention. Even if you don't get result, whatever little bit also if you've done, he appreciates that. Yes, sir. I think it will be an answer was about boss. Okay.
Material bosses look for what they gain out of us.
Yes.
Krishna uses what we lack.
He provides what we lack. There's a verse in Bhagavad Gita coming in the future chapters that he provides what we lack. Very good. And yes, so boss tries to extract everything from us. And we try to extract from boss. So it's a mutual relationship with the motive for one's own self. So that relationship is again based on selfishness. It is not selfless. So when we have Krishna as our master, we are serving him selflessly, and that's bhakti.
This is a relationship which is built out of from material achievements. While Krishna relationship is more about loving and compassion.
Yes. Very nice. Thank you. So yeah, we see. So is it good to have Krishna as a master? And does it mean that we'll reject our material master? I don't want you guys to go tomorrow and put your papers. So we are in this material world. What to do? We have to do our duties. But what can we do? To just add Krishna in our life. Whatever we are doing, be Krishna conscious. That's the movement that Srila Prabhupada is creating for us. Always remember Krishna, whatever you do. So he tells Arjuna also, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. So whenever, whatever you're doing, Maam Anusmara Durgecha. Just remember me while doing it. Don't need to give up anything. Just remember. So that's that. So then, Arjun brings Krishna into that center place, and then he sees. So he addresses Duryodhana as Durbuddhi. So this specific word he calls it. So why is he calling Durbuddhi? What does the word Durbuddhi mean? Durbuddhi means one who takes away others' property or evil-minded. Now we see Prabhupada also uses the word Mudha at various places, which means foolish. So now how is these two different? What's the difference between a foolish person and an evil person? And he's calling Duryodhana as evil person. Because an evil person obviously has wrong intents. But a foolish person might not have bad intents. He might not even realize what are the outcomes of what he's doing. So that's how he's addressing Arjuna. So he's also ascertaining the strength of the opposition. Like he's an evil-minded person. Okay, he's strong. Who all are there who are joining with him? Let me evaluate them. So just like again in sports, you might keep coming to that example. So boxing is one good example. When or other sports also, when the game begins, the player evaluates the strength of the opposition. So in the beginning, we might see that one player is losing, but towards the end of the match, it turns around. So the person is actually seeing, okay, what all are their strengths, and then one puts his best foot forward and turns it around. Would you understand here? Done. Okay. We started a little 10 minutes later. 30 minutes? 10-15 minutes. Okay. So Krishna is addressed, Arjuna also addresses him as Rishikesha, which means master of senses. And he's addressed as Udakesha, which means conqueror of sleep or ignorance, laziness. So we also, how are we? We are like Buddha, not Kesha. We are Buddha Karpas. We are, most of the time, I am lazy, tired, sleepy. So that does not happen, right? So now these things are at the bodily level. When I'm sleepy, when I'm tired, this is at the bodily level. Laziness is at the level of mind. So why is this? Because we have lack of enthusiasm. So when enthusiasm is not there, then we are not able to do anything. We just want to. If we get time, what do? The best to judge ourselves, we should see what are we doing when we have free time. So today's world, free time itself is a luxury. And when we are free, then we are so busy, we just try to take rest, do something like that. So that is again, in a way, we are wasting time. So we should develop enthusiasm, and then we will do it. So now, when Janmashtami comes, you see devotees, they're all so busy in their life. Nobody has time. But during Janmashtami time, you see, amazing enthusiasm in all the devotees. So many days before they will start until 2 a.m., 3 a.m. On the night of Janmashtami. All the devotees are sitting there, exhibiting such qualities. So where does that strength come from? That's all that enthusiasm. love of God. So Prabhupada tells us how to develop enthusiasm. We should chant regularly, associate with devotees, come to center like you all, how you all are doing. Every Sunday come here, associate with devotees, hear about Krishna Katha, chant like you all doing Kirtan. That brings us enthusiasm. It brings enthusiasm. And then we can carry it. So with that enthusiasm, then we look to learn and acquire skills. So Guru is ready to provide knowledge. But if we are not enthusiastic, then that will not happen. Right? So cow is ready to give milk, but if the calf is not sucking, then what can the cow do? Right? So Arjuna shows how he's enthusiastically picking up skills. And then Krishna shows Arjuna that when they are there, that he speaks for the first time. Behold, Partha, look at the army, Bhishma, Dronacharya. So what is he doing? He is arousing compassion in Arjuna. So he is creating the need to speak Bhagavad. He is putting Arjuna in illusion. Now Arjuna, when the consciousness of blood, he could have straight away the queen would have started fighting. Okay? But he brought the chariot in the middle. So why did he do that? So we see that actually Krishna inspired him to build the chariot in the sea. So that then he's showing him, look, Vishnu Pitama, chariot. So he's invoking compassion in him. Right? So that he can then ask questions. And Yuddha is such an intense moment. What bigger thing can be at that point, the question of life and death. That is where he pauses and asks questions. And when he looks at them, he's like, are these the people whom I'm going to fight with? Am I going to kill them? My grandfather, my teacher? No, I can't do that. So he puts question to himself. And that is the key message, lesson from this chapter. That we will be put in situations. So we should actually try to ask questions at that time and not run away from the situations. So we see that in the day-to-day life is so busy, so hectic. We get a lot of pressure, stress, anxieties. So what do people do to get rid of all that? When there are problems, what do? We try to run away from them. Material education, that's how we train. Either avoid the problem or do some work around. What are some of the things that you all do? There is too much of work pressure. How do you relieve that? Take a break. Yeah. Take a break. Listen to music. Listen to music. Drinking water. It's very nice. Calms us down. Sorry? Hang out with friends. Change association. Yes. So from all these points, we see what are we doing? We are running away, avoiding, but we're running away from where? One problem definitely, but where we are situated, we are moving away from that place. So that means we don't belong to that place, right? Otherwise, we should not be running away. If you're staying in a house and we are not comfortable, then that house is not meant for us. So the place where we are in, if we are not experiencing pleasure or happiness, that means we are in the wrong place. Compared to if you practice spirituality. Now that you are all here, this is practicing spirituality, right? So do you go back, when you go back from here, do you take any pressure? Do you take any stress? Would you want to come here again next Sunday? We all look forward to the next Sunday. So see, so this is the place where we belong. Right? So that's one great message that comes from here. But we should not, whenever there are problems, we should not run away from them. We should question. And when we question, that's when our spiritual journey begins. So, so like that, in this Vishad Yoga, just quickly finish now. Arjuna is expressing his compassion. So Swajana, he calls out that these are my relatives. How can I kill them? So he's showing compassion, but it is at the bodily level. The real compassion is at soul level. So we see that all these efforts. The doctor will tell that the kid they are not healthy. For them to become strong, you feed them non-veg, you give them egg. So we listen to them and we start feeding them all these things. So is that the right thing to do? In short term, maybe yes, but what are we doing? We are actually focused at the bodily level. Now we're just taking care of the body, giving some years of life to the body. But what we should do? We should give life to the years that we have. Right? So after the body is changed, we should think long term. What will happen? All this karma that we're doing, is it going to help us beyond that? So we should look forward, long term, not short term goals. So that is there. And then he talks about the loss of enjoyment in another section, that when my relatives and all, nobody will be there, whom will I share this enjoyment with? So again, sense of enjoyment. And nimittani viprittani, that whatever we try to do, things happen the opposite way. Does it happen to anyone here? Many times. We want to do something, but never, we always end up doing the opposite. So Shastra, we see Ajamil, he was a great devotee and he went out to get flowers. For his father was doing the worship. And what happened? He ended up, falling down. He saw a prostitute and then he just gave up his duties. Hiranyakashipu wanted to be immortal, did all these austerities. What happened? Ended up getting killed. Dhruva Maharaj wanted to be the Lord of, have opulence even greater than Brahma. But when Lord came, he said, I don't want anything. So many examples like that. So the mind is like a churning rod. You know how they make atta? So curd when we churn. So these ropes that we are turning this way. So these ropes are compared as various thoughts, our desires. I want this, I want that. And mind is always reeling between these thoughts. So it's always confused. Should I do this? Should I do that? Is this right? Is this wrong? So that point we have to make some decisions. And those decisions we are always caught in between ethical decision and emotional decision. So when we are attached, we see like Dhritarashtra, we make emotional decisions. And they result in our fight. When we make ethical decision, those are the right ones. The teacher job. If the teacher has when she's invigilating, if she catches her own child cheating, what will she do? If a cop is catching some criminal and that turns out to be his own son, what will he do? Right? So those are very tough situations. Judge making judgments. So should you think emotionally or ethically? So that's what we again understand from there. So and encouraging sin again, Shastras say that 6 types of people we can actually kill. Who give poison, who set house on fire, who attack with weapons, kidnap someone's wife. So all these reasons Kauravas are done. But Arjun is saying, I'm not going to kill them. Right? So why is he saying that if he kills, he will not incur sin, but he is giving a reason of sin. So he is comparing a higher dharma, that he is saintly, and a saintly person does not inflict harm upon others. Right? So we often, again, you might have encountered situations where there is a choice between 2 things and both are right. Then which one should you pick? Right? So one beautiful example is that one sage was there, he's sitting meditating, and there's some dacoits chasing one person. So that person comes running and he goes and hides in this hut of this sage. And then the dacoits come and they ask him, did you see this person? Is he inside your home? Now what does he do? He's a sage, he has to speak truth and he does not cause harm also. But if he says truth, he's going to be killed. If he says a lie, then he's doing something wrong. So he chose to say the truth because he never lies. And what happened? The birds went inside, looted him, and killed him. So even though he did the right thing, it ended up in a bad result. Right? So many times we get into such situations where we are really stuck. What should we do? So we should think whatever is the higher purpose, paradharma, what will be the outcome of this action, and then go to it, even if it means they're doing the wrong in the first place. Right? So like that we see, and then sin versus crime. One last point, that crime is when there is a law of government. Government has some rules. If we violate that, then we are criminal. We are put behind bars. But Bhagavad Gita, we see that if we don't follow the law of God, then we are committing sin. So we might not be put behind bars for those sins, but we are committing sin against the law of God. So examples like liquor shops, they've got they get permission, license, and then they run liquor shop. But is that a good thing to do? It's not a crime, but it's a sin. Slaughterhouses, killing animals, it's a sin. But if they get license, it's not a crime. So like that, we have to think what is the real dharma, following the law of God. If we follow that, then we. And so by doing that, Arjuna is again fearful that, if we kill, then our elders will die. The elders die, then the tradition, all these values, they will not pass on. And they will not pass on, then the woman will be degraded, the next generation will not be good. And if the next generation is not good, then obviously again the forefathers for whom we do the Shraddha ceremony, Pindo the Kriya, we offer food, water for our forefathers, that will not happen. So then they will fall down. So all in all, there is going to be destruction now and in the future also. So citing all these reasons, Arjun says that I am not going to fight, and he puts down his bow and he sits. So we see that Arjun is displaying qualities of devotee or prerequisites to hear the message of the Lord. He's saintly, he's non-violent, he's compassionate, he's detached, he's ready to beg also. I will beg, but I will not fight. So once we have these kind of qualities, then we are fit to receive or understand Krishna's message. So with that, chapter ends. Sorry, Prabhu, I took a little bit more time. Any questions? Last questions, or anybody would want to share anything? Yes.
Bhagavad Gita is a very auspicious book, but it starts with Dhritarashtra. Then it goes to Duryodhana. So rather, the platform can be differently explained, starting something about Krishna's thoughts or Arjuna's thoughts. But why it started with Dhritarashtra's mindset?
Very nice question. So, like I said, what is the key message here? That in this world, things are not rosy. We have problems. Is there anybody here who doesn't have problems in his life? What are the kind of problems we could have? We could lose somebody in our family, such a great problem, right? We could have relationship problems with our loved ones, old age, disease. That also causes us so much problem, right? If everything is fine, some act of natural disaster will also happen. Bangalore में flooding happened, could you imagine? Next to airport, crores and crores gone. So problems could come anytime, and this material world is Dukhalya Mashashita, right? So the reason we are here is I want to enjoy independent of Krishna. I want my enjoyment. So when I am in that mood, will I listen to Krishna? Will I even read Bhagavad Gita? Because I think I am the controller. I can do everything I want. I don't need God, like I said, God is for the weak. We don't even believe. And that concept itself brings in enviousness. How can somebody be more powerful than me? So with those thoughts, how will one even pick up a Bhagavad Gita? Right? So if we start with straight away with Krishna and Arjuna, it will not even make sense to us. We'll just put it down. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is having 3 sections. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is in between. So your question in a way is, why is Bhakti Yoga not in the beginning? Right? will not understand, will not appreciate itself. So Krishna consciousness is a progressive journey. From where we are, you take the next step. It's not an enforcement by force. Danda mar ke I'll make you practice Krishna consciousness. No. Is anybody here made to come by force? We all have come by our own choice. So that choice again is through Gyat some devotee would have prayed for us. We would have prayed for us, and we are fortunate we are here. So the beginning is realization that we are suffering. Even though I think I'm in control, I am not happy. All my endeavors are being futile. So what next? I want to be happy. Like that example, we don't belong here. When that realization comes, then we start inquiring. And once we start inquiring, that is the beginning of our spiritual life. So that inquiry, we need some example. We need to see somebody else also who is in that problem, showing us whom we should be able to connect. So all these things we discussed, we all have such problems. Right? So we're able to connect. And then we are all looking for solutions for happiness. True happiness. True happiness will come when we connect with Krishna. Is that right, Prabhu? It will stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for a very enlightening class today. I hope all of you enjoyed the class. Okay. So I will give a detailed introduction of Prabhuji because now more devotees are there. So basically, he's from North India and he has been in UK for quite few years. He's in IT field and working in a very big responsible position, managing several teams and also managing in different parts of the world. So from here itself. And he has been traveling to North America and also he has worked there. And he got connected to ISKCON in US. Hare Krishna. So he has been practicing devotional service, Krishna consciousness for more than a decade. And he is the disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He is part of our congregation, IBC congregation, and eagerly serving Srila Prabhupada mission and helping us in extending and growing this center as well. So let us all welcome him by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I would like, Hare Krishna. So I would like to thank all of you for coming here because although you have so many busy schedules and other commitments, but still you chose to come here on Sunday morning. So thanks for coming here. And I would like to thank Nityananda Group Bhakti Viksha members for helping us to set up this center in the morning, and also they will take care at the end after we finish Prasad winding up. They are the last ones to leave this place. We may go halfway to our home, they will be still serving here by winding up and packing things. And we also thank Advaita Acharya Bhakti Vriksha group members. Again, this is led by Audharya Gopa Prabhu, and Nityananda group Bhakti Vriksha members is led by Sachijivan Prabhu. Then today's Prabhupada's quote for the day in London, 10th March 1975. In the age of Kali Yuga, to kill the demons means to stop their demonic activities by the weapon of Kirtana, Hari Sankirtana. which is spread by Lord Chaitanya's associates. So on this date, March 10th, Prabhupada spoke in London in 1975. And we thank Mr. Balasubramaniam, your name Balasubramaniam, right? For sponsoring today's prasad. So he has sponsored today's prasad. We request you to come here. Please come here, Prabhu. So thank you for sponsoring today's prasad. Let us all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the benefit of him and his family members. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much, Prabhu. And just to give you an idea of what are the important days during next week. So on March 11th, Monday, that is tomorrow, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's disappearance day. So he is one of our Parampara Acharyas. He, in fact, devotees who have deities in their house, in their altar, they will have Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj as well. And also Sri Rasikananda disappearance day. These two are the personalities whom we worshipped on March 11th, Monday. On March 13th, Wednesday, Sri Purushottam Das Thakur appearance day. So he was part of Chaitanya Leela, a great personality. So now we will have Nrsimharati group discussion. Okay.
Hare Krishna. So I think you, all of you have sit group wise only, right? Yeah. So as we discussed last